Let's talk about kicking. Ow.
Hey, Ando again from Happy Life Martial Arts. I'm back with Sifu Matt Ember to talk about kicking. Sifu, here is my question to you today. Most of the time in self-defense, we talk about ranges. People talk about clinch range, then maybe elbows and knees, then punching range, and then kicking range is usually the farthest out. But over the years, I've heard you teach the idea that maybe some of these ranges kind of overlap. The lines are a little blurry. So specific to kicking today, what can you tell us about kicking range?
Well, I actually don't believe in ranges overall. I think it's really more malleable than that. I think, it's the fighting range is really what's important, and then the rest is the tools.
It's all fighting range.
It's all fighting range, and then you're just, what are you going to do once you're in that area? And let's see, I'll do it left-handed so you can see. So okay, so I'm just going to talk about a jab for a second. Jab. This is pretty much the end of my jab range in order to make contact with him. So that's punching range, right? That's jab range. But if I scoot forward just a little bit and this becomes a jab that hits him and hurts him, that's now stiff jab range, but it's still jab range.
Right.
And if I move a little further than that, then it becomes push him out of frame range.
What the hell?
Sorry. But it's still jab range because I'm still throwing a jab.
Front hand, yeah.
So I'm not sure what the range actually is describing here.
So already the lines are getting a little blurry.
Yeah.
Because that last one with the pushing range, you're starting to get into the top of elbow range. So now we're
right.
closer.
So if I'm here and I'm in that
right.
in that range where I'm knocking him out of frame with that jab, but that's actually the same range as this.
Right.
Which is, so is it punching range or is it elbow range?
Right.
Well, yes, it is.
It all is. So now the same applies to kicking.
Yes. Yes. And in kicking, one of the things we often see is a big side kick to the chest. Boom. So that's kicking range. But that's really just the end of my kicking range. That's as far as I can reach with him, with any opponent, because that's the length of my leg. So
right.
This distance here is kicking range, yes?
Right.
No.
No.
Because if I'm here, I can still throw that same side kick and in fact move him or hurt him more. So that's kicking range. Or if he goes back to the exact same spot and I move another foot in, is this kicking range? Well, this is clearly punching range, even if I'm on a number 2 punch. So here, number 1, I'm clearly, sorry about the throat. I'm still in punching range, but look how close our knees are. Is that
right.
kicking range? Yes, that's kicking range too.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the distinction even really means. It's just, I think we have to think about our hands being or our arms being as multi-purpose tools, and the same goes for our legs, multi-purpose tools. I just made this up this morning, but just because we stand in horses doesn't mean we have hooves.
Right.
They're not just rocks on the end of a thing that we throw and cause pain with. They can be used to push. They can be used to direct.
Right. Right. Steer me.
They can be used as a jab just to keep his attention.
Right.
They can be closer and I can thrust kick him, somewhere else.
Right.
So there's a lot of uses, so there's a lot of ranges, so there is no kicking range. That's my opinion.
Beautiful. So every range is kicking range.
Sure.
Every range is fighting range.
It's fighting range. And what are you going to do when you're inside that range?
True, because on my side of it, your foot comes maybe into my elbow range or my knee range. So why am I only thinking about throwing elbows and knees to your body when anything you give me is now in whatever? I can grapple with your foot locks and stuff or whatever. So it's really all just overlaps.
That's right. So I'm saying it's kicking range and you're thinking, no, it's grappling range because you're going to grab that.
Right, right.
Well, so then why are we talking about what the ranges are?
Right.
Why are we distinguishing this from that?
Right. Obviously in the beginning, as a new student, you're trying to categorize stuff, make it clear, but as you move on, you should definitely start blurring those lines and see opportunity at every range for all of your tools, whatever you have. Is that fair?
Yes.
Right.
And then one last thing we wanted to talk about was how you bring up your knee in order to make this concept work for you. And
right, like a hoop.
If
right?
this is our dividing line, and we say this is a hoop here.
Your circle.
On the circle?
Let's say there's a hoop here.
Okay, excellent. So am I bringing up my knee here, or am I bringing up my knee here? So if I bring it up this way, the only thing I can do is hinge with my knee to extend.
Right.
But if I bring it up this way, now I can use the knee and the foot to extend. And so that's a way to think about and practice the idea of bring your knee up in tight, no matter what kind of kick you're throwing, and then throw the kick. And then you will think less about what is kicking range and what is not.
Right. So you talk about chambering kicks either outside or chambering inside, which I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but I think that's a really nice distinction that opens up some opportunities here. And I think where most people probably hit heavy bags or targets and partners at the end of that kicking range, that's probably the more common way to use the kick. That means that they're probably pretty good at bringing up their chambers outside. So the next step would be to try to build up this flexibility inside the hoop, where you can maybe, let's say for the sake of the exercise, get your knee all the way into your body, but not sacrifice your posture, your breathing, and just get my knee here, or my balance, be able to just hang here, so that if I need to, I can get that kick up and push it out.
So if I'm standing this close to you, you can still get that
right,
kick
I can
off.
still get my kick in here and make that work. Or if it's a side kick, getting that knee up inside, as opposed to always outside. And I think that helps even on the ground. Sometimes just being able to get your legs inside of that tight space, be able to push that back out. This is a multi-dimensional tip. Fair? Yeah.
Fair, very fair.
All right, so the challenge to everyone, to my friend here at home, open up the opportunities in your kicking game by either chambering outside or inside, and stop thinking of these fighting ranges as separate. You can't pass through these ranges without a special ticket. Everything.
It's more fluid.
It's more fluid than that, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about Billy Jack, right? This reminded you of Billy Jack, did it not?
It did. I spent this morning looking up that old clip of I'm going to take this foot
Right.
and put it on this side of your face, whomp you on this side of the face,
Right.
and here's the thing, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. And he didn't move.
Right.
From here, he brought that foot up to there. So
Right.
that's kicking range for Billy Jack. So
Shout out to the Hapkido guys out there. Anyway, if this tip has been helpful to you, I hope you'll say thanks to Sifu Matt. Give this video a thumb up, share it with your friends, and until next time, keep kicking and keep fighting for a happy life.
let's talk about kicking. 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 Let's talk about kicking.